Michael and Serena Winters. Well, after heading south for the first time last season here for training camp, the Cavaliers had so much success. They enjoyed it so much, they said, hey, let's do it again.
I mean, look, John, what's not to love? 78 degrees, we got a cool breeze, and they were off to such a great start last year. We got basketball all week long, nothing but basketball, team bonding, dinners. They're here together for a week. Why not do it again?
IMG Academy, terrific sports facilities, hospitality as well. We're going to take you inside for day one in just a few moments. We have a packed week right here on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network. We'll be with you through Saturday. Great behind-the-scenes access. We're going to talk to players, coaches, front office members, as we did last season. We'll visit with some familiar faces and some new ones as well. Some veterans in Lonzo Ball and Thomas Bryant, and an old friend also returned in Larry Nance Jr.
I mean, it feels like Larry Nance Jr. never left, right? It just feels like once a Cav for him, always a Cavalier. Great to have him back. I've already chatted with Thomas Bryant. He's actually going to join the show today. I'm telling you, fans, you are going to love him. Not just, look, we're all familiar with what he did on the court last season, but his personality is just incredible. And Lonzo Ball, just so much talent there. I think he has so much potential to take this team to another level on both sides of the ball. So just can't wait to see how these guys start to fit in.
Instant likability. You will enjoy them both. We have such a wealth of storylines this season, Serena. I mean, 64 wins last season, looking to build upon some great things with that core four. What are you going to keep an eye on as we head inside for camp?
There's two things that are standing out to me this week. One is DeAndre Hunter, and that's just because so many guys have mentioned what a great offseason that he had. And look, he came into this team really thrown in last year. And so to actually see how multifaceted he is, see how Kenny has been able to build that relationship with him, see how they can use him in different ways, I think he's going to be a huge addition, especially early on because of the injuries that the Cavs have faced. And then also Evan Mobley. What stands out to me is that I asked Donovan the other day, hey, what's a conversation that you've had with a teammate that really stood out to you this summer? First thing he said, Evan Mobley. He said, I think he knows or has the confidence in what we need him to be. He's always been a confident guy, but he knows what the Cavs need from him, so I can't wait to see what he does this week.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the tweaks.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see the adjustments. Year 2 of Camp Atkinson is on tap. When we come back, we're going to head in. Cavs Training Camp Nightly is presented by KeyBank. For every financial need, KeyBank will meet you in the moment. KeyBank opens doors. We welcome you inside for day one of Cavalier Camp, and we are joined by one of the newest faces in Cleveland. It is Lonzo Ball. Lonzo, A, so great to have you here. And B, you know, when you were introduced by the media a couple of months ago, you said that this is a dream come true. You couldn't be put in a better situation coming to Cleveland. Why so?
I just feel like the team has got everything you need to win. And they fit the style of play I want to play. They want to play great defense, shoot a lot of threes, get to the paint. So looking forward to the season, man. Should be a great year. Weather's nice out here in Florida, so the knees is feeling good. And, it's going to start up here pretty soon.
Your 9th season, right? You've been part of big markets, been part of those big moments. When you think about all that you've also already been through, how are you maybe approaching this season a little differently?
I'm just taking it one day at a time, honestly. I know it's going to be a long journey ahead of us. But like I said, I'm grateful to be here. Thankful to be in this position. Thankful to even be playing still. So I look at every day as a blessing, and I just try to be my best every day.
Go ahead.
Just one of the fun things about this team is the chemistry, the camaraderie, these guys joking around. What have you come to find out so early on about this group?
Well, it's really been a seamless transition for me. It actually helps that I know half of the guys already, just from playing with them, in high school and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool to see, everybody come back around full journey, full moment, and get out here and have some fun, get up and down, and just enjoy every moment. Like you said, guys are laughing, having fun because, we're having fun out there, and it's just a good environment to be around.
Serena mentioned you've been with a number of teams. Lonzo, I think it's safe to say easily that this team has your best chance to compete for a championship. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, for sure. I think that we had a chance to in Chicago my first year as well. But like you said, this is probably the best team I've been on. Yeah. They had a great year last year. They just ran into some injuries at the end, so hopefully – God willing, we all can stay healthy and finish this thing out.
Serena also mentioned the players that you're going to be with. When you think about the likes of Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, Darius Garland, what excites you the most about being with that group and merging into this lineup?
Well, those are some of the best players that we have in the league. And to have them all on one team is like, you're not going to get this moment all the time. And that's what Kenny was telling us last night, that, we got to embrace this journey because, you don't know what's going to happen next year or the year after that. So try to put all the eggs in one basket this year and hope for the best.
Speaking of Kenny, one of the things that he mentioned the other day is that you came in and were already you have such a high IQ of the game that you're making suggestions left and right about certain things that you're seeing, and he loves it. He said he's going to lean on you for that. What's that relationship been like so far?
Well, like I said, I don't know him very well, but just from the early encounters that I had with him, definitely a player's coach. You can tell he loves his guards. I think that he gives us all freedom to speak our mind freely. So, I mean, nobody has like any egos on this team that I could see, and everybody just wants the best thing for, the group.
Hey, you mentioned knowing some of these guys already. I think what's neat for the fan bases out there is to know what those relationships actually are, right? You came in with a lot of these guys in 2017 in that draft class, but you've also played with a lot of these guys already, right?
Yeah,
whether it's Thomas Bryant or
Thomas,
Larry.
I was with him at USA, and he was like 16, so it's cool to see him back. Coach actually came up to me before we got him and was like, "What you think about TV?" I was like, "Man, I love him," So it's good just to see him in here. But like you said, all the other guys as well. Even Evan, I've been watching Evan pretty much since he was a kid. I mean, he comes from basically the same town I come from, so it's just nice to have everybody out here. The chemistry's been, easy to get along with everyone, and things are moving in place.
Chemistry with the team, chemistry with the city. We saw you rolling around Tremont just a couple of weeks ago. Yep. What have your first impressions been of our fair city?
Hey man, it's been a great tour so far. Like I said, the weather is going to change soon. I mean, I'm not coming too far from Chicago, so I know the winter's going to be something. But right now, it's been great. People have been embracing me, and I haven't had any problems at all.
Kenny said this acquisition of you was a home run. In terms of skill set, you talked about it a little bit, but as you look at this roster, your skill set, what you bring to this team, you also said you fit this team to a T. How so?
I think just the style of play. I think they were looking for a defensive guard, that doesn't need the ball in his hands all the time. And I think that's what I am. I can space the floor and guard the other team's best players. So, my job, I feel it's very simple here. I'm just going to play my game and, like I said, let the chips fall where they may.
Hey, you're still young, but you are the older brother in the Ball family, and technically you're a veteran now in this league. You've got the experience, right? So when you think about when you were a young guy coming in, what did you need from veterans, and what do you hope that you can provide to this group from that aspect?
I think the biggest advice I got is just probably keep your confidence. We're all here for a reason. Obviously your role is going to be a little different probably than it was when you were younger, but at the end of the day, you put a lot of work in to get here, so just believe in yourself and just trust the process.
You mentioned that defensive role, and you're right. I mean, this is a team that clearly is looking for, in terms of that perimeter, a little bit extra, a little bit of edge in terms of getting out, getting after guys. At what point did that start in your NBA career? I mean, I know it was early, but boy, as you came along in years 2, 3, 4, 5, that defensive edge stepped up. How did that develop throughout your career?
I think it took a jump, probably my second year in LA. My shot wasn't falling back then, and that was the way I had to get on the court. Right. So I started picking guys up full court and kind of just took it from there.
What's something that the fan base might not know about you that is nothing to do with basketball? Nothing.
Man, I mean, that's a hard question. I feel like I've been in front of these cameras for a minute now. We do have a new pod, that's about to drop here soon. So I think that starts in the next couple of weeks. So that would be, something newish, I guess. I just got a new dog this summer, so that's something new.
You love dogs, right?
I love dogs, and that's about it. I mean, my brother's about to go on tour, so that's nice. He starts, I believe, next week. So that's new. I won't be there, but I'll be there in spirit. Other than that, I'm pretty simple. I mean, I like listen to music, watch movies, play video games, and really just play basketball.
Out of all the dogs you've had, you got a favorite name that you've chosen? Because how many dogs have you had?
I'm not going to lie, my first official dog that I took on my own was Deuce. So I have him now. He turns 8 in November. So he's a Rottweiler. He's still with me. So that would probably be my number one.
Before we let you go, any message for our Cavalier fans at home?
Can't wait to see you at the games. It's going to be a fun, long season, hopefully, and we're going to bring energy. So hopefully you guys can as well.
Lonzo Ball, thanks so much.
Appreciate it.
Super happy to have this guy aboard. More after this on Training Camp Nightly.
I'm not sure it's old friends because I don't even know if Thomas remembers me from those Lakers days after you got drafted there. But hey, it's great to have you back. First circle moment for me to have you back here.
Yes, it's a full circle moment. It's a blessing to be back, man. I love it. I love it.
Thomas, you're coming off of a sensational season in Indy. You get here for day number 1. What are your first impressions?
I thought it was great. Yeah. I love the maturity and accountability that everybody has with each other out here. Nobody really had to really get us motivated. It was all team motivated, player motivated, and I loved that. I loved the maturity and the concept that we were going through today.
How is that different from other camps, other teams that you've been a part of?
A lot of things are different because, I would say it's not like boot camp, where it's just rigorous of just doing this, doing this, doing this. It's different ways of trying to break you down. And it's mental, where you have to really lock in on certain things, certain aspects, and also the teammates are there to help you as well. And that's one thing that's very different. You got a very mature team that knows what they want to accomplish from day one. It's not just starting off from just saying like, all right, we want to get this done right then and there. No, let's look in the reality of this and see what we want to get accomplished, and let's start this on day one. And I love that the players were taking accountability for that.
And this is a guy who certainly would know. You're in your 9th NBA season, been with a number of different teams, won a title with Denver a couple of seasons ago, had that long playoff run with the Pacers just last year. When you come to this team, you've had those experiences. What are some of the things that you can impart upon this team in terms of what you learned in those playoff runs?
I would say I would just try and share, just holding each other accountable and just playing as one. Everybody has to believe in what we want to do, and that's just from top down. And when you get guys like that on the same team, especially from day one, right, you start to feel that chemistry build even more and the belief even more. That plays a lot of hand, I believe, in basketball, because when you have that chemistry, you have that grit, you have those guys that have paid their dues throughout seasons and seasons. You gain a certain type of confidence throughout these years, and I feel like this team has that certain type of confidence.
What is it about this lineup that you liked and attracted you to this team?
Well, the certain want and the certain need that they had, and also the open arms that they also gave me, with guys that I've known for a few years, for mutual battles throughout the league, and guys that I've played with and known for a long time. The open arms really helped a lot.
We were just talking with Lonzo about how small the circle of the NBA is, right? Like, he's sitting here and knows half the roster already, and I know that's the same for you, right? Whether it's the 2017 draft class or whether it's guys that you played with, what can you tell the fan base about, hey, although you are new here, you're not new to a lot of these guys?
Yeah. It's new in the concept of playing with the Cavaliers and, getting acquainted with the coaches and everything. But it really helps when you know some of the guys on the team, so that way you know some of their niches. Of course, you want to gain that chemistry out there on the floor, but it helps a lot when you know what a certain guy likes to do and what they want to do. And the same goes for them, too, with me.
It was great meeting you yesterday at Media Day, and you shared with us what it was like to come into Cleveland's Rocket Arena as an opponent. Can you now share that with our friends at home?
It is absolutely electrifying. When you hear that crowd, it's insane. And you see the towels waving around, man. It's kind of like a monsoon out there because they're all over top of you. And even if you're so close, even in the timeouts, you still can't hear. And I love that about it. The fans love Cleveland basketball, man, and they really go for it. That's something you just can't forget. Even last year, playing in that arena, man, that's one of the things I'm never going to forget, just playing against the Cavaliers, because their force, the tenacity, the electricity that you feel playing against this team, from the fans all the way down to the players, you feel it, man, and it's something that you'll never forget.
That's awesome. I mean, I'm ready for the season to get started after listening to you talk about that. Hey, you get to play alongside two very different and both interesting, unique bigs in Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen. I mean, these two guys, from a personality standpoint, too, couldn't be more different. But when you think about the potential that those two have and what you've seen now playing against them, what can you tell us about each of them?
Well, going off of Jarrett Allen, just throughout the years of playing against him, man, you see the talent right then and there. And the way that he works on both ends of the floor, man, it's absolutely amazing to see that. I think he's one of the big catalysts in the league on the defensive end, especially on the offensive end, too, playing with Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell, man. They always try to find him and everything. And Evan Mobley, unbelievable tall talent right there that can shoot the ball, get to his spots and everything. I think he complements Donovan and DG really well. His game speaks for itself, and he goes out there and dominates. That's what he wants to do, and for me, I want to continue to see him keep dominating like he is.
Before we let you go, you talked about the front office and this team welcoming you with open arms. How about the coaching staff? I know it hasn't been long, but what have been your first impressions of Kenny Atkinson and crew?
I loved Kenny. Kenny was actually over there contesting shots with me and Zoe, and just like he gave me something to think about when I'm shooting now. So I really appreciate him on that one. And the coaches are really great too. They've been really open. Everyone has been really open arms with me and just teaching me a little bit about what their concepts are. They're being real patient with me, and luckily I'm catching on quickly. But it's been really good.
Yeah, you've been a joy to talk to, Thomas, over the last couple of days. Can't wait to see you in Wine and Gold when we get rolling.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
All right, Thomas Bryant. We'll be back to wrap things up right after this. Cavs Training Camp Nightly is presented by KeyBank. For every financial need, KeyBank will meet you in the moment. KeyBank opens doors. Well, day one in the books, John and Serena. That was fun. Catching up with a couple of the new guys, and Lonzo Ball and Thomas Bryant. They're going to be great fits.
Yeah, I mean, it's always fun to get to know the newest members, right? Like, there's such a great core here. As you guys can tell, like, the culture, the chemistry is so much fun here. So to see how new guys with very different personalities,
No
by
question.
the way. Lonzo Ball, a very different personality than Thomas Bryant sitting here. Seeing how they're going to mesh from a personality standpoint is interesting, but then also from a talent standpoint, experience standpoint, great to hear from them both.
You could feel the excitement,
Yeah,
right? I mean,
yeah.
it just oozing both
What
of these
about
guys.
Thomas Bryant talking about the fans, right, and the monsoon? I mean, I sat here and almost forgot that we were on Cavs Training Camp Nightly. I was ready for opening night to get started.
And so is he. Obviously, so is he. The fits, too, Serena.
Yeah.
I mean, you hear that the trade was made. Lonzo Ball comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Two-way guy. He talked about his early experience with the Bulls and that was a quality team. That 21-22 season, Lonzo had that Bulls team at 27-13. They briefly were on top of the entire Eastern Conference and cruising. I mean, this is a man who can run an offense, and that's before we talk about him getting after it on the defensive end.
Yeah, he's 6'6", and he knows how to play defense. And I know Kenny loves that he's a high steals guy. So I think adding that to this roster is huge. And then from an IQ standpoint, you heard Lonzo talk about how Kenny loves his point guards, right, and gives them the freedom. And I think we'll see that with Lonzo, which is really exciting. And, I had made the mention about Kenny talking about Lonzo coming in here and already having tips on certain things to do. And I think tidbits like that really show what an impact he can have, because he just had day one here. So you got to keep in mind, when he was giving tips to this coaching staff, that was before training camp even started. So just imagine the things that he might add to this team as he actually gets to know what's going on here a little bit better.
Speaks to his excitement, too. And
Yeah.
that Kenny eats that stuff up, by the way.
He sure does.
In terms of Thomas Bryant, no secret the Cavs were in the business for backup bigs.
Yeah.
And, boy, you get one who had – what a run. He started last season with Miami. He was acquired in December by the Pacers, quickly got into Rick Carlisle's rotation, and boy, did he take off from there.
We all saw what he was able to do with Indiana, right? And look, it's not just Indiana. When I think about Thomas Bryant and his career so far, I just think of him as an impact player, right? He's a guy that's been able to make an impact in different ways on different teams, whether it was in Washington, whether it was in LA. You mentioned Miami, right? So I'm excited to see what he brings in terms of being a backup big, because we know that was an area that the Cavs could certainly elevate. And so credit to the Cavs front office for making sure they were able to elevate there. And look, from a personality standpoint, from a good guy standpoint, I mean, I'm sure you watching could just feel what we could feel sitting right here.
The words instantly likable
Oh,
right into my notes when we met him yesterday. You talk about that front office tomorrow, right here, day 2 of camp. We will have Kobe Allman, president of basketball operations, and Kenny Atkinson, second year for Kenny. You harken back to last summer. What a whirlwind. I mean, he described that as his hair was on fire, right? I mean, he was over in France at the
insane.
Olympics, part of the coaching staff of Team France, gets hired by the Cavs. Now, let's not forget he had to come back and forth to interview. Some was done on the phone or Zoom or whatever, but boy, he was traveling all over the place, gets hired, and then he has to go about getting ready for camp, meeting all of his players. This year, he can take a deep breath, a little more focus, a little more time, obviously, coming in here for the second season.
He is such a relationship-building coach, right? And as you hear guys talk, you always hear them say he's a player's coach, right? And when I was talking to him the other day, when asking him the conversations that he had with players, I think what stood out to me is he said it's not specifically about the X's and O's and things I was talking about with players in the offseason. It was that the players knew that I was coming out to see them, that I was going to be there for them, whether that's in LA, right? Whether that's in New York. He will make an effort to get to anyone. And DeAndre Hunter comes up as an example as somebody that he said he wanted to make sure he got to know better this year. So many storylines here. This is just day one, John. Day one.
We